Here is what's coming up in today's Frontline compilation. A lone Russian mortarman drops an 82mm round into the tube. What follows at the muzzle raises questions about what went wrong. 2 Bradley IFVs sprint through trenches under fire in Donetsk, Bushmaster cannons stuttering as they pass. Watch how they push through the gauntlet. A compilation shows FPV strikes with faces captured in the final seconds. The close-range views show how drones now hunt individual soldiers. Recon video from the 214th shows multiple drones converging on dugouts near Zeleny High in Donetsk. See how the swarm splits targets across the line. This is real footage, no effects, just raw moments from the battlefield. Subscribe to stay updated on every Frontline report and stick around to see it all unfold. Let's get into it. GoPro video released by the 35th Separate Marine Brigade shows a close-quarters firefight in a ruined settlement. The video opens with a Ukrainian soldier firing toward an enemy position. He then moves into a shelter where other members of the team are gathered. Another troop member shoulders a rocket launcher. The view switches to his helmet camera as he aims and fires at the enemy position. The fight continues at close range inside the destroyed village. The unit posted this footage to their Facebook page. The exact location is not stated. Infrared drone footage from Ukraine's 27th National Guard Brigade shows the destruction of a Russian Zemlyadelia remote mine-laying system in the Zaporizhzhia region. After the strike, the vehicle catches fire and the flames grow, rising higher and higher as the minutes pass. Grainy FLIR footage released by Russian forces shows what they claim is the destruction of 3 HIMARS launchers in the city of Sumy. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the systems were supporting Ukrainian operations in the Kursk region when they were detected and hit. At the end of the video, flames are visible at the site after the attack, and the camera holds as the fire continues to burn. This footage from the Ukrainian Army's Novum group shows a Russian Ural supply truck targeted by drones somewhere in Kursk. The truck is carrying rockets intended to rearm multiple launch rocket systems. After the strike, flames and secondary explosions ignite the cargo, and the rockets begin launching from the bed. The result is a chaotic spread of outgoing munitions without a launcher attached. The clip underscores how a hit on a transport can cause cascading fires and blasts. An observing drone near Kostiantynivka records a Ukrainian soldier leveling a Russian-held pillbox with an anti-tank mine. The TM-62 mine, a Soviet-era design, is versatile. It can use different fuses, not only pressure plates. The arming can be set in several ways. In the clip, the emplacement does its job and the position collapses. The screen fills with smoke and the view holds on the dust and debris before it clears. Footage shows a Russian mortarman running a solo fire mission. He aims the tube with a mounted sight that references preset aiming points rather than viewing the target itself. When satisfied, he drops an 82mm high explosive round into the tube. A blast erupts at the muzzle and engulfs the gunner and the camera. The source notes that if this is genuine, the men are dead, but the sequence could also be edited to mimic a malfunction. Drone video from the National Guard of Ukraine follows a Russian light service vehicle on a cratered route. A Ukrainian kamikaze drone passes just overhead and detonates behind the truck. The occupants survive the near miss and accelerate to exit the area. Seconds later, an anti-tank mine explodes directly under the vehicle. The blast obliterates the truck and the passengers are thrown several meters into the air. Ukrainian sources share video of a ground-based attack drone operating in the Sumy region. The platform carries a rocket and a small flag as it moves toward Russian positions. The footage focuses on the drone's employment as a direct attack system on the ground rather than an aerial strike. The system demonstrates how a compact vehicle can deliver ammunition without exposing troops. The release suggests such machines could reshape ground fighting over the next 10 to 15 years. A compilation shows a Ukrainian infantry counterattack in Donetsk. Troops clear a small hamlet of Russian soldiers, moving tree by tree and house by house. The footage includes structure and bunker clearing, casualty treatment, and handling of prisoners. The description frames Russian pressure as steady and focused on isolating defended settlements by taking nearby villages and cutting lines of supply. Ukrainian forces counterattack to remove exhausted units from these positions. The video sticks with the methodical push through the village.
Вийшли на контакт. Він цілий і неушкоджений. 5 прийняв. Плюс, може, там ще один кінь поруч, 5 метрів від цього. Плюс, працюємо.
An FPV racing drone loaded with explosives is used against a Russian fighting position. The video begins with a quick look at the device, showing several hundred steel BBs or ball bearings packed around the charge. The drone accelerates low and steady toward the position and closes the distance. The camera stays on the approach and impact, keeping the frame tight on the target area. The munition is built to kill or wound any exposed troops within the blast. Reconnaissance drone footage, released by the 214th Separate Special Battalion, shows a swarm attack against Russian positions near Zeleny High in the Donetsk region. The view stays on the positions and the strikes as they land. The emphasis is on the coordinated use of several platforms rather than single hits. The attacks are shown in different areas along the same sector as drones move from one spot to the next. The sequence ends after the attack runs, keeping the presentation simple and direct. Drone footage released by Ukrainian sources shows a munition dropped on a Russian riding a dirt bike. The camera tracks the rider and the drone keeps pace before releasing the drop. After the impact, the rider is badly injured. The sequence stays on the moving target and the moment of impact. It is a short demonstration of a precise drop on a motorcycle in motion. GoPro footage released by Russian sources shows the aftermath of a fire team overrunning a Ukrainian fighting position. The recording shows secondary and tertiary clearing by firing into the dead troops in the hole. The soldiers then remove equipment and items for sensitive site exploitation. They top off their own loadouts with grenades and medical gear taken from the position. They also search for maps and electronics that could reveal movements or strength. The clip focuses on the clearing and quick collection of items before the team pulls out.
Это кровь его. Да.
Drone footage from Ukraine's 225th Assault Regiment shows 2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles advancing through Russian positions under fire. The Bradleys maneuver at speed while firing their 25mm chain guns at nearby fighting positions. The footage focuses on the vehicle's movement through the line and the steady return of fire as they pass. The release states the incident occurred somewhere in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. The sequence ends after the push. Set in a war-torn residential area in Bakhmut, Ukrainian rocketeers target a building occupied by Russian Wagner fighters. He slips out from cover, sights the building, fires the rocket on the Russian position, then ducks back behind the wall where a teammate steadies the launcher and readies another round. They shift position and send the next shot toward the same building while the camera stays on them and the target. It is unclear from the footage whether the blast caused casualties.
Закрийся. Потому що перегради. Башня 3, працюй.
A compilation shows Ukraine's 82nd Airmobile Brigade defending Vovchansk in Kharkiv Oblast. FPV drones and indirect fire hit Russian infantry moving through broken buildings. The fighting here is mostly infantry. The footage and description note a shift toward heavy FPV use and less reliance on large artillery strikes. Units lean on drones that now carry much of the tactical load. The video ends after the defensive actions. GoPro footage from a Russian reconnaissance group shows a patrol northwest of Pokrovsk, coming upon a dead Ukrainian soldier. According to the source, they had ambushed him earlier, and this segment shows a dead Czech before searching the body. The act is intended to ensure the remains are safe to approach. The clip focuses on the brief inspection rather than the earlier contact. The video is labeled NSFW. The sequence ends after the check and short search. This clip shows the aftermath of a Russian probing attack that went badly for the attackers. The source says the Russians use small infiltration teams to test for weak spots and draw fire, a method they call reconnaissance by fire. In practice, forces shoot likely positions to confirm defenders and learn their weapons. The source suggests the intent is to trigger Ukrainian heavy weapons or vehicles to reveal locations, and compares it to practices seen at Bakhmut, where less capable units were pushed forward at high cost. The overall aim is to keep pressure and drain resources. Drone footage from Ukrainian sources in the Kherson region shows the last moments of a Russian patrol. The operators first wound members of the group, then continued to hit the survivors as they split and run for the tree line. The camera tracks individuals as they seek cover and are engaged one by one. The presentation is methodical, moving from target to target until the patrol is finished. The video ends soon after the final strikes. A compilation released by Ukrainian forces presents more than 30 strikes by FPV drones against Russian soldiers. Before each attack, the editor freezes a tight front-facing frame of the target's face. The images share the same expression: fear in the final seconds before impact. The montage underlines how FPV drones are now used to find and hit individuals, one after another. Casualties and destroyed equipment stack up across the sequence. The video stays with the hits and the stills. The content is graphic. The cut ends after the last frame and blast. Footage from the Tsunami Regiment of the Ukrainian Loot Brigade shows sappers preparing a building in Donetsk for demolition. They stack anti-tank mines as charges and move through a hostile area to place them. Interview clips are intercut with the setup. Then the structure is destroyed to deny the Russians a place to fall back to. The brigade is shown using packaged AT mines to clear or level positions under threat. Here the aim is preemptive removal of a future strongpoint. The video focuses on the preparation, the placement and the blast, then closes on the cleared site. Russian-released drone footage shows a minefield created from the air by scattered drops. The pattern is randomized as the aircraft releases charges at intervals over the ground. From the shapes, it appears the drops are PFM1 petal mines, small and light. These mines are made mostly from plastic, which makes them hard to detect with standard metal detectors. They can remain active for long periods, endangering anyone who enters the area after fighting moves on. The clip's emphasis is on the drone's pass and the spread of devices across the terrain. It ends after the final drop sequence. Video from Ukraine's 11th Army Corps shows a Russian mechanized assault near Siversk, coming under drone attack. 3 armored personnel carriers move with about 20 dismounts and are hit by FPV drones and drones dropping munitions. Thermal views appear in parts of the footage, showing that the night offers no cover. With troops in the open, the strikes land in sequence and stop the movement. Bodies are visible where they fall, and the publisher marks the release as NSFW. Footage shows the Russian Volunteer Corps operating near the Dnipropetrovsk border area. These are Russian nationals fighting against the Russian state. The video follows trench and dugout clearing actions in which prisoners are taken. Some segments include drone views and vehicles moving with the patrols. The sequence focuses on the step-by-step clearing and the handling of captives before the unit moves on. Drone footage released by the Ukrainian 45th Separate Artillery Brigade shows counter-battery strikes on a Russian gun line. The sequence follows a series of hits that end with 6 artillery pieces destroyed. Drones change this by spotting and adjusting from overhead without exposing gun crews or sending forward observers. The clip keeps focus on the engagements along the line and the guns going down in turn. It ends after the strikes. That's today's raw footage. No filters, no fluff. This is M6 Archive. Always first on the front lines. Subscribe and share if you want more.